Euan, thanks very much, as always, for taking a couple of minutes to have a quick chat to us. Just in anticipation of what's happening tomorrow, just talk us through your role as you see it tomorrow for the Glenfiddich.
Just pretty much a conduit to get the music flowing throughout the day. Very conscious it's a really long day, 10 o'clock and right through. So I have a chat with the stewards because it's, sometimes the pipers, they're getting better in recent years, but sometimes, there's that last 30 seconds. So just to get into a rhythm with the stewards of getting the pipers out, the final tuning and onto the stage and just letting the day flow, really.
Because presumably if the piper's due to come onto the stage and he doesn't come onto the stage, then you've still got to keep talking to the audience.
Well, yes. I mean, it's better to have, as you know, more material than less, so you can leave stuff out. And you always have one or two wee anecdotes and fillers. But in general terms, you're looking at 2 minutes. Pibroch's a lot easier, I find, than the Mars of Spain Reel, because you've always got a wee history with the tune itself. And you're introducing the players for the first time. So I always find the morning takes care of itself. But then in the afternoon, with Mars of Spain Reel, it's nice to have some nice wee anecdotes up your sleeve just in case there's a wee delay.
Where do you get them from?
Oh, all over the place. I mean, you're not short of information now with the internet, and there's all the podcasts and all the magazines and whatever else. And of course, you meet the pipers throughout the year. The games, fortunately, are back on, so we've actually had a bit of face-to-face interaction with the guys, and that's where you've missed. Everybody Zooms, great, but it's not the best. So if you're actually face-to-face over a beer, you do get some nice wee snippets and get to know people. And
I suppose that's the difference, as you've just said, that what goes on in the afternoon is anecdotal, but what you're doing in the morning is telling the stories of the tunes that the competitors are playing. So how much research is involved in that for you? How do you go about doing that, researching on the stories behind the tunes?
Well, it's a lot better than it was last time. 2018, the pipers didn't get their tunes till tonight. So you had to research them all. So you can do the maths, 10 times 6, that was 60 pibrochs you had to arrive here with. So this time round, fortunately, the tunes were picked by the judges about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So that cut the work down quite significantly. I had stuff in the bank and I've done other bits and pieces. So there is a fair, in truth to tell, a fair bit of cut and paste goes on. Occasionally you'll get a tune that's unusual and you'll have to do a bit of research, but Pibroch Society website and other sources, it's fairly readily available. And the good thing about Pibroch is that it's not fact, it's always legend. So, and some of the legends, you never know if they're true or not. So it's quite good from that point of view.
Have you got to strike a balance between the kind of factual part of it, or the stories you're telling people, and injecting a bit of humour into what is otherwise, as you rightly say, a kind of long day?
Yeah, it can be a dry day. I don't think it's a balance between just trotting out the histories of the tunes, but then informing the audience about the structure of the tune. And sometimes things I've learned is that you assume that you're speaking to an informed audience, and generally you are, but there might be people on live stream, for example, or some tourists here who haven't got a clue about anything. So if you're talking about Cranluas and Daridos and whatever else, they'll just... So it is finding a balance, depending on what kind of audience you've got. But in general terms, if there's a chance to bring a bit of levity into it, yes. Bit of a sombre start tomorrow with the passing of Andrew Wright. And I decided to bring that right at the start of the day because I suspect in the audience and online there'll be very few pipers that haven't been influenced in some sort of way by his teachings and recordings. So I think it's appropriate to mention that his passing early, and then build up through the day from there.
And presumably all the preparations done now. It's a quiet night for you tonight.
It's all the just there's one or two gaps. We've got the two new guys, Nick Hudson. I know Nick, but I don't really know much about his family background. So just one or two wee questions and to confirm things that I believe I know. That are, the internet's not infallible. So just a quiet wee word with people just to say, is that true? Right, okay. So you're not feeding false information tomorrow.
Good. Well, listen, I'll let you go and get on with that.
Great.
Thanks very much for talking to us, and have a good day tomorrow.
Thanks very much. You too.
Cheers.
Cheers.